Welcome back to the 0 to 7 podcast, where each week we talk about our business decisions and strategies to reach our goal of going from 0 to 7 figures of income in just 1 year. Convince me that April is real, because as of right now, I think it's a myth.
I don't know what you're talking about. It shows up on my Google Calendar.
Our wall calendar of everything that, like, kind of our plan that we have laid out of how we're going to reach our goal. We were looking at it this week. Brad was looking at it this week, and all of a sudden we realized, like, oh, there's no April on here. This isn't a 12-month goal. This is an 11-month goal. And for April, we're just taking a vacation.
So when I made this, I went down a rabbit hole and spent like 6 hours creating this graph and this nice chart and every possible detail, every possible plan I could come up with for how we're going to reach this goal. And I literally wrote every single month out on a Google sheet, and I forgot April. And I've never noticed until yesterday that we've been missing April on the sheet.
We're 2 weeks away from April, and here we are just like, oh, wait.
We printed it out on a canvas, and it's plastered on the wall. So we know exactly what we're doing every single month. And
as long as that month is in April.
April's not there. Sorry, guys.
So
we saved ourselves a whole month.
Yeah. So these last couple podcasts, we've been kind of like fretting a little bit because we're realizing like
we're behind.
We just keep falling farther and farther behind. Like, man, I feel like we've just barely passed January's goals, or, we're not even very far into February's. And all of a sudden now we realize like, oh, we have a whole extra month. We're actually only like 5 days behind, and that's about it. We're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, we're doing
better than we thought. We thought we were 3 months behind. We're only 5 days behind.
Yeah, we're not doing too bad now. I felt a lot better at that when I saw it, and I go, yeah, April's not there. I called everyone. I'm like, guys, I messed up. I forgot April, but it could be the complete opposite, and I added an extra April.
Yeah, at least there's not 13 months. That would be bad. Yeah. But luckily we're doing
a little better than we expected.
We're doing way better than what we expected, especially a
week ago.
Yeah, especially a week ago when we started worrying about our bank accounts and we started worrying about all of this stuff. But now we got all of our commercial clients confirming. We've got all of those starting to come in.
But we had our biggest week yet.
We had our biggest week yet.
At the end.
We'll tell you a little bit about it towards the end. But next, let's talk about how I was listening to Brendon Burchard this morning, the High Performance Habits of that book, listening to it and talking a little bit about how it's very easy for the little things to slip, to drop the ball on the little things, especially the closer that you get to customers. So he kind of hinted at this. He didn't quite go all the way in that book. But basically the closer, like in a business that you are to customers, meaning like your position. So say like you're somebody that deals with customers on a, daily basis versus someone that, necessarily we're sitting in the office. Like we have very few interactions actually with customers. The closer you are to the customers, the more likely you are to not realize the ramifications of little things.
Yeah.
And so it's easy to decide to do this one little thing and not realize that it has a big implication for the whole company, right? So like for instance, like not changing the water in a mop bucket could cost $30,000. And it's like applying it specifically to our company, right? That little task can have huge ramifications for the whole thing, and it could even undermine further marketing, or it could undermine the reputation as a business, right? So we had our first 1-star review our first public 1-star review. It had no text. It had
nothing.
We looking into it, like
first off, we didn't know who it was.
Yeah, we couldn't figure out who it was, but we kind of we dug in, we figured out what happened, working to make it right. We did, the only thing that you really can do when those come in is respond to it publicly and see, like, just kind of
go from there.
Not really like point the finger or anything like that, but just kind of saying like, hey,
especially because
we're so sorry that you had this experience.
Yeah.
we don't recognize your name in our system. Could you please call the office so we can get this sorted out right away? We want to make sure that, you're having the best experience. Yeah. And with a company that's supposed to be all about customer service, like I feel like myself as a customer, if I looked at that review and I saw that response, I'd be like, oh, okay. So they're actually like jumping on this, and they're jumping on it within a couple hours of it showing up. So, because everything time stamped, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, do you have anything you want to talk about that?
No, it took a couple days to finally get a response from them, but they sent all the details of exactly what it was. And it was like a month ago. So we didn't even, and as far as we knew, everything went perfect.
Yeah. It was the first indication. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's silent but deadly.
Yep.
The ones you don't know about, those ones are going to kill you. So you got to do a good job every time, because those ones will get you.
Right. Another thing that Brendan Burchard was kind of talking about was that it's easy to... I completely lost my train of thought because somebody just called me.
That's how it goes.
That's usually how it goes.
We were talking about clients. You guys got this? We just like to keep it entertaining for you guys. We're not perfect.
No, we're just sitting here.
Forget what we're talking about sometimes.
Just sitting here with only 15 minutes to record a podcast and then moving on to other stuff.
Yep. What's next, Dean?
So, what's next? You kind of took some of that situation that we were having as far as little things having big ramifications, and you decided to start doing new training. Do you want to talk a little bit about what that kind of stuff has?
Yeah. So, so first off, you need to, with all your employees, you need to figure out, like, they don't know what you expect unless you tell them. Like, they can assume what you expect, but unless you have it like, this is exactly what I expect from you. And so what we're doing is we're creating a training to make sure, like, every possible thing, every single thing they do in the house, what we expect from them and how we expect them to do it, so then they can be up to our standards. Because right now at the beginning we were like, well, we didn't know what
we don't know what our standards are.
Our standards are, but now we know. Like, now we know what to do. So now we need as we're hiring several people now, we need to, with also some today that I have to, by the time you guys see this, we have sent out some more job offers, but we got several people started, and now we're like, we need to tell them what we expect. So we're going to have some training. We're going to show all the things that they need, pretty much all the things that they keep asking us, and different things, and everyone's asking us. We'll just put it on one spot, make it easier for everyone. So we're going to get that all set up. I have the outline set up, and I'll probably work on that next week and should get it done by next week. And then, so then all the new hires, everyone that comes in, they can go through that. I don't know how long it'll take them, maybe an hour, get through all of it, and then go from there. Then they'll be on their way, and then they go to some training cleans and go from there. And that way, everyone is going to be on the same page.
And now what platform are you using for that training? Is it
right now we're just using Teachable. Teachable is easiest. I mean, I shouldn't say it's easiest. It's easiest the one I'm used to. So that's what we're going with, since we already have the software. So
yeah. So if you're not familiar with what Teachable is, it's basically an online learning platform.
Yep.
A lot of people put on online classes there. But we've used this training for not only Windowstill or other company, but now we're using it for this. And basically it allows you to track the progress of every employee as well, every person that's going through it, see how far they're getting, and just like verify that they actually went through it. And it's really helpful to have it all written out, standardized, because then it's not taking up somebody's time. It's just the person, like, say, hey, you have to do this before this date or this time, or before you can do this. And then it's on them, and everything is like up to them to actually go through it. And you can do, correct me if I'm wrong, you can do like quizzes on there.
Oh yeah.
And you can do like, you can put videos, you can do attachments, all that kind of stuff. You can see how far they make it in each lesson, that kind of stuff. So it's a really cool platform, and it is very widely available and widely used. So
now that we're thinking about it, as you're telling me this, I'm thinking about easier ways to make this all. We'll share them later.
Every single day.
As you're telling me
how
this,
can we do this easier
smokes,
or better?
I got some ideas. It's on this training one. But now that I think about it, like, so those of you guys don't know, I used to be a flight instructor. So I had to like write lesson plans and figure out how to create things and figure out how to get people to know the knowledge. So that right there has been helping me a ton, just for creating the plans of every single video and stuff like that. So I just noticed it now, but That's been helping a lot.
Yeah, doing all that flight training stuff.
Yeah.
And with that, like that is talk about small things have big ramifications. Like when you're flying, like very small inputs can have very big ramifications for
Yeah.
the
And
health
that's-
and well-being of everyone
And
on board.
I referenced that for the checklist. So we have a checklist, and how like every single thing on this checklist can, like in an airplane, it sounds bad, but like literally if you don't, like you get an emergency checklist. If you don't follow all the things in the steps, something bad could happen. So it's the same exact thing with our checklist for cleaning.
Mhm.
It's like if you marked off that you went and cleaned the sink, but you didn't clean the sink, that's what the client complained about, and now that's the thing gonna damage the business.
Right,
by
that's
not
going to cost.
not
If it's a
following
home,
it.
hundreds of dollars. If it's
Yeah.
a business, thousands,
Thousands.
tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands,
Yeah.
depending on the life cycle of that client, right?
Yep.
So just, making that very easily aware and looking toward the future of
Yeah.
every single kind of task. Yeah, no, that's awesome. And then now, I mean, that's almost all we have for today. We've just got, we want to talk about numbers a little bit. One number we haven't mentioned the last couple weeks was our recurring bookings.
Oh yeah. What are we at? I think
We've been slowly crawling up. We started pretty close to 50, and then it kind of just barely crawls up to 60, and now we're literally just on the threshold of getting to 70.
so I just realized something. That 70% is all based off of 11 months. Because we
11?
missed a whole.
Oh, because
so we missed a whole.
so we don't
April.
even need to do 70%
But
on our goal,
we're gonna do more than 70%.
but we're gonna.
That's our
By
goal.
golly.
Because then we'll bypass missing a whole month.
So, basically, we have a goal of getting to 70% of recurring clients
Yep.
from the previous month into the next month. So, we just that's kind of what we want to do, and it's a pretty good way of looking at how well we're doing. If that number drops, then we can. It's a little bit late to tell. If that number starts dropping, something bad is seriously bad is
Yeah.
happening. But you can kind of predict, in the future what you can expect to have, as long as you can keep that number up and keep track of that number. Now our software does it automatically, which is really helpful. And I encourage you, if you're looking for, especially within this kind of business, if you're looking for whatever platform, make sure that you can have access to that number specifically.
Yeah.
It's incredibly important. So
Yeah, we're at 67.
yeah, 67% and
Yeah.
climbing.
Just short of their 70. So we gotta get some more recurrings instead of those one-time bookings.
Yep.
We'll be all set.
Yep. And then lastly, our number.
What's our number at, Dean? I didn't look before this.
It is.
I looked at it yesterday.
I
I saw one
looked-
coming this morning.
Yep, I looked at it just this morning, and we're at 15.5, which marks our most successful week.
Yep.
Yet.
Yeah.
And we still haven't been paid for any of our commercials
Oh, yeah,
stuff.
those are gonna be like a month or two out.
Yeah. And that's just the number in relation to
So pretty much
how many
that
people
April
we
that-
have.
The April that's missing, that's when the checks will come.
That's when the checks will come. The invisible month.
Yeah.
April's not real.
Yeah.
But yeah, so last week we were at 12, and this week we're at 15.5. So 35 in 1 week. It's pretty representative of how many people we actually have cleaning now. We've got a lot more people checked off. We've all of the additional work that we've done to get commercial clients still isn't even reflected in that number, which is incredibly encouraging considering we're only 5 days behind.
Yeah, and since we added on the cleaners, those are the ones literally those are the ones getting all those bigger, newer ones. So which is working out really well. So that's where we're at, Dean.
Yep.
That's where we're at.
We kind of looked at where our bottlenecks were, where our income bottlenecks, just like we did. We just
talked
renovated our whole network system here in the office, trying to eliminate bottlenecks to make our speeds faster. And now
We did.
taking the same kind of thing and looking at the business, what is our bottleneck of income every week? And it was just
cleaners.
appointments. We didn't have enough appointment availabilities. So
Yeah, availability was it, because we're noticing everyone's using the online scheduler as well now, and they're seeing that they can't book
they
something.
can't book for
sooner.
a long time.
So we need them soon. So we keep adding on more people, and I think we're going to continue adding on more people until, like, we're just not going to stop. We're just going to keep hiring more people because that's literally our limit right now.
Yeah. Our marketing's working in.
Yep.
Our word of mouth spread is working pretty well, and we don't have a client problem.
Yeah, they're coming in fast.
They're coming in. They're coming in hot.
We did have our direct salesperson kind of came up with a new strategy now, and it's been we didn't really mention that on any of the other ones, but we'll go into a little bit right here now. But like we gave her a new plan. She's got a whole new plan, and it's working. I think the fact that when she saw it working in the first 8
like
people,
within
talk to 8 people,
20 minutes.
Yeah, to talk to 8 people within 20 minutes and book 2 or 3 walkthroughs in 20 minutes. And all of a sudden, she was hooked.
She's like, you know what? Maybe this does
So
work. Maybe I do need to do this.
We've been scheduling walkthroughs like crazy. So that's our next thing. Once we actually get some closing numbers on those ones, we'll share with you guys. But those are for the commercial ones. But those ones will be that's an exciting thing we can talk about once we get a little further down that rabbit hole. And it's so funny because when you listen to her talk to clients too, it's so funny because she will keep them hooked. Yeah.
And it is not like the just random cold calling that you would get from any other company. She's doing a great job of figuring out who they are, what they like, and
what they want.
Yeah.
So we'll share you guys with that.
Yes.
That'll leave you guys hanging on what we're doing with that. But
coming soon. But yep, that's about all we have time for today. Thanks again for tuning in to week 10 of the 0 to 7 podcast. We just turned week 10.
Oh, dang.
If you enjoy this podcast, make sure that you're subscribing on whatever platform you're listening or watching on. And if you really liked us, we of course appreciate every 5-star review. And there's more content to be had at our 0 to 7 Figure Entrepreneur Facebook group where you can ask us questions directly and ask other entrepreneurs in this space as well. So
sweet.
That's all we have this week, and we will see you next week.
See ya.